closing up here, I thought I'd mention just some of the other tools that we use in approaching data problems. We like open source technologies because sometimes you have to go fix them. Sometimes you have to go improve them or add features that you're looking for. So some of the ones that we like a lot, we're really happy with Memcache. We use it very heavily. We're happy with Tokyo Tyrant and Tokyo Cabinet. Are any of you guys familiar with the Tokyo suite? A couple? One way to think of Tokyo Tyrant and Tokyo Cabinet is like it's a grown-up version of Berkeley DB. It's really fast, very performant. Simple HTTP, which is the library that we've released, which has some of the tools that I've mentioned. It's up on GitHub. We use it extensively. We also use the Tornado web framework. Are any of you guys familiar with it? It's a Python web framework that the guys at FriendFeed, now Facebook, have released. And it's a very well-written framework for doing asynchronous Python code. And if you've ever delved into anything like Twisted, it can be very hard to wrap your head around. So Tornado is really good in that it's very easy to wrap your head around it, and it gives you async capabilities, which are important. We like anything JSON. We like to store all of our data in just JSON flat files. I mentioned before we like CSV files too, but we like JSON more. We use MySQL a bit. It's battle tested when you're looking for something that's reliable. It's solid. We've also been using Mongo a fair bit when we found that when you have a system that you know is going to change over time, it can be very convenient because doing an alter table on MySQL when you have billions of records is not fun. Requires months of work and lots of machine juggling and slaves and all sorts of things that you don't really want to have to mess with. So some of the tools like Mongo are very convenient because you don't have to deal with that at all. Yeah?
Do you compare that to like Couch at all?
We have not really looked at Couch.
When you say JSON, my experience of writing things with Couch is all JSON.
Yeah.
So
So when I say JSON, I really mean like JSON records in a flat text file, right? I mean certainly Mongo builds heavily off JSON records. They have their own formatting for it, but they're essentially really close to JSON. There are some other ones. I have not done a lot of Couch stuff, but
basically anything you want to store is JSON.
right, right. That same approach is really useful at times. I don't think it's as battle tested as MySQL is at this point. So you have to kind of pick your poison as to what you are interested in. But yeah, a lot of people I know are happy with Couch. And again, this is where you can find a lot of the C code that we've written on top of libevent, which we use extensively. And I think that's it. Any other questions? Yeah?
How long do you allow your URL to be hidden?
2048 characters is the max that we'll allow.
Do you retire URLs?
No. They're permanent. They're permanent forever. You're asking about the short version or the long version? Oh, the short version? So there's the links that we create now are the hash part on the right-hand side is 6 characters, but we do allow people to create custom named ones, and those can be up to 255 characters, I think.
But no.
What's that?
How fast are you going to run out?
So with 6 characters, I'd have to go do the math again, but it's a lot. Whatever 62 to the 6th is.
Experiencing in some respects exponential growth compared to when you first started.
Close to exponential growth. Thank goodness it's not quite exponential, but yes, a lot of growth. Yeah. Sorry, was there another part to your question in the back?
So next week.
There's a lot. Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. 7th character will last long after I'm gone, so. Yeah. TinyURL does not give you any of the statistics about links, and bit.ly is shorter, which is cool. We also run j.mp if you ever want something that's even shorter than bit.ly. You can use j.mp. Yeah.
You have an edge.
Yeah. Yes, the stats are big. And what's that?
So is there anyone that doesn't use Bitly?
There are, amazingly. Yeah.
So you use URLs? You like somebody out there has obviously done just like Facebook.com.
So what we do is, let me go back to one of these slides here. So on the individual, this is a bad example. When you go to one of the individual stats pages for a link, what you'll see is anytime you shorten a link with Bitly, we create two short versions of it. One is specific to the user that created it, and one is kind of what we call an aggregate link, which tracks metrics for all the versions of that link. So if you go shorten a link to facebook.com, you get a special short link that's only for you. And if I go create a shortened version of facebook.com, there's a short link that I will get back that is different. But they both are linked to an aggregate one, which keeps track of all the stats, combining both of our versions, right? What's that? Essentially, yeah.
How long has it taken you to expand the company where you're at now with Bitly? How long has it taken you that grow?
So Bitly was started in 2008, and so I don't know, however long that is since then till now. And there are about 20 of us that work there now, so a fair crowd. We have a lot of fun things that we're working on, which is cool.
20 people working on it. Short link.
Not entirely all on that, but we do have.
It's impressive. It's a simple concept.
So we also do, what some people are not aware of, is there are probably about 8,000 other short domains that we power now. So if you see, when you shorten a link to New York Times, you'll get NYTI.ms back. We have a lot of enterprise partners who pay for that service for us to run that for their short domains. So there's a lot that happens for that to work too.
I was just going to ask about the financial model.
Fortunately, I'm an engineer, so I'm not qualified to answer anything about that.
Well, just in general, where does the money come from? That was the first source of income. I haven't seen advertising or...
Yeah, I don't like advertising at all, so hopefully that won't ever happen. I won't answer that completely, but I will say that, you know, part of it has been around, you know, giving brands tools to kind of increase their brand awareness, and they're happy to pay for that. So giving them kind of analytics on those links too is important. And I don't know what tomorrow will hold.
Analytics is the valuable part of what you...
That's certainly part of it, yeah.
What proportion of request traffic is coming through shortened URLs? Are you able to get at that stats at all, or do you not have it?
What portion of what?
What proportion of all web requests go through shortened URLs?
That I haven't a clue. I don't even know how you would find out that either. That would be interesting to know.
Significant, I would imagine that the folks like Compete, they're looking at aggregate data from a lot of different sources, but one of those
They are.
is the backbone internet provider, so they're looking at packet inspection, so they would see.
They would know.
They would tell us if it was interesting.
Yeah, I actually don't know what Compete's data sources are, but yeah.
Compete uses a variety of, they install JavaScript like Google Analytics, but they also use underlying ISP level.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any of the details on how they get stats for domains that don't embed their tracking. But yeah, I guess that would be a good way to get a guess, I guess.
It is a guess at that
Yeah.
point, yeah. That's when you use aggregate data.
A lot are. So I guess we're just about out of time, but any other questions? Yeah.
Working on forecast for your first data center fit to geolocation somewhere else. There's only 20 guys, I know you currently only have one physical facility.
So
One day you're going to have to split.
we actually do have more than just the one data center that we're in. We have a data center out in California, and then we also do a lot of things on Amazon EC2 as well. So if you want to count that as multiple data centers, yeah. There are a lot of things that it's convenient to do with managed hardware, and there's a lot of things that it's convenient to do with, oh, I need another box, and just to turn it on. So we like using both of those.
But you're tracking your inbound traffic patterns. I noticed Tokyo and Texas were your sample.
Yeah,
So one of these
that was purely random.
Chinese data center.
Yeah, I don't know when that'll be.
This might be an awkward question, but
It's okay. I'll try.
Are
you trying to get a book?
If you look at it the right way, what you're doing is something that we're going to have to be doing. What is your kind of ideal developer? Like, what do you guys look for? What skill sets? What?
So we like to play around with a lot of different technologies. I showed on our list of things that we like to use. It can range from just about anything. There's a lot of things that I didn't put on that list. So one of the things that we're interested in when looking at people is kind of their self-starter ability and how much they are just interested in exploring and trying out new things. So it's important that they know more than one programming language in some way, or at least have played around with things like that. And also their initiative to kind of write their own tools that they need instead of just trying to use things that already exist and just being slow at it. The ability to write tools that you find are missing is important. So kind of those two beyond the kind of specific language things are important. And yes, we're hiring.
That's my boss. But Zero, you had mentioned Zero Q.
Uh-huh.
Are you guys using it in production right now?
No, we're not. We've looked at it quite a while ago. We may look at it again at some point in time, but no, we're not using it right now. We're happy, as systems grow, it's really important to try to get them as simple as possible. So we like a lot of our 100-line C code applications, and we like to put a lot of those kind of puzzle pieces together. That's, I joked about the Hadoop book. One of the issues with large technologies like that is that they're large and they're complex, right? So anytime you can break problems down into simpler ones, like making a database out of a CSV file, it's really simple. It's impossible to screw up. And that's always good, right? It gets you wins in the long term.
Mark, we're going to give away those 3.
I'm just keeping me, sorry.
And one last question, but I have Bitly stickers if anyone is interested. Yeah.
Can you give us an idea what kind of, you're dealing obviously with essentially text data. I don't assume you have any graphic type stuff that you're storing with each link.
Right.
Can you give us a rough idea how much data that is?
The storage of just the links of the short link to the long link is roughly a terabyte. It's a lot. There's a lot of links. There's a lot of other data sets that are a lot larger than that that we have.
Why, but it's just the URLs of the
Right.
terabyte. You've got a country and an IP address for everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff there. Yeah, so they grow quickly.
Do you collect anything other than just the first place they go off that link?
We don't have, for better or worse, all we have is the request to that short link, and we send them along. We don't get anything after that. So, yeah. All right.
If you're interested in these type of problems, but you're not interested in making a lot of money or the glamorous startup lifestyle, is anybody bioinformatics programming? If you'll read this and then send us your resume.
Definitely.
Anybody interested in bioinformatics? What's that? You asked a good question. Do you want Erlang or Hadoop? Yeah.
I prefer the other.
Breaking my heart.
I want you to be left with that one, Mark.
Hadoop, I already know
You
this.
take it home and read it.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much.